Hey yo, this is another episode of the Steven from the Old Time Podcast. Listen to my dad, he's awesome.
Welcome to a cold, snowy day in Canada, in Montreal, Canada. 80 centimeters of snow later, we are here. I am the Ayatollah of hip hop, the whole damn show, the rated R podcaster, and the voice of the voiceless, with my co host this evening, the sick, red nosed Malenko.
Yes, sir. What's up? I hope I don't sound too sick
You sound
on the
horrendous.
microphone, but yeah, it got me. How rare is it that I'm 60?
You're never ever sick. I've known you for a solid 2018, 2017. I've probably seen you sick maybe once and a half.
This is probably the sickest I'm gonna get right now. And I was outside the whole day. I was freezing, so it didn't help me a lot. But that's what happened when you party too much and you go outside with a t-shirt. You know what
That's
I mean?
that's your fault. But it's also
Yeah.
it's also been minus 25.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. And the other co-host.
Hey, what's up, Alzheimer's? You recognize the voice. It's the greatest there is, the greatest there was, and the greatest there ever will be. Back at it again. I know it's been a while. I know I've been missed. I know I've missed you guys. So let's get on with it. And this time I'm back, but not for what you think. This is not a wrestling episode. This is actually a hip hop episode. So let's get to it. There was a big release. So hopefully we could do it some justice.
Derek, can you just
Yeah.
put up your arm? No, the other one. You have two watches on?
No, I have a watch, and the other one is a Whoop. It's like a fitness tracker.
But what are you doing wearing the fitness tracker now? Is it because it counts your steps?
It counts everything. So this fitness tracker, it's an American company. A lot of professional athletes use it, like Pat Mahomes and stuff. It tracks their sleep. It tracks their heart rate variability. It tracks the blood flow. It tracks pretty much everything. But in order to have the most accurate results as possible, you need to wear it 24/7, 7 days a week. I've had it for about 6 months now. You just haven't noticed because normally the watch I wear is not this one. I wear a black watch, and normally you don't notice. That's why it is a bit more of a contrast.
Two watches, Derek. That's your new name.
Two watches, Derek.
Yeah.
Sure,
Um,
sure. I'll take it. It's all good.
Derek, since you haven't been on
Yep.
for a hip hop one in a while, well, not
Yep.
really a while, but it's been a couple of episodes.
Well,
Anything
since
you've
the
been?
new year.
Oh, yeah, it's true, huh?
Yep.
What have you been listening to?
To be perfectly honest, in the other sphere of my life, I'm big into metal. And metal has spoiled us this year in terms of good releases, some good singles, some new good projects. I've been diving into that quite a bit as well. Also, I have a few shows coming up, so I'm just catching up on the repertoire of artists that are coming, just because I want to make sure I do my homework in that regards. Um, I've been listening to some of the albums. The Eddie Kane I listened to. Um, didn't dive that much into it, but I listened to it again and I enjoyed it. We'll touch up on that in the review we're gonna do here. This one took a lot. This one took, to be perfectly honest, this one took all week. This is a big one. We're about to tell everyone that's watching what we're referring to, and there's a specific reason why I'm on this episode as well. You'll see why, but yeah, this one was a big one. This one, honestly, if with this guy, if you don't do your homework and you just listen to it in the car, you're gonna miss absolutely everything.
Yeah.
You need to do your homework with this guy. I mean, don't get me wrong, you could listen to it for pure pleasure, um, and you're gonna enjoy it. But once you start digging into this, you realize that this is not what you expected, and you need to put your thinking hat on and you need to get to work because this is not an album that you're just gonna listen through and not catch anything. Um, So for those of you that don't know, I'll introduce the album and then Stephen will talk about it. We're of course talking about the new Josiah the Gift project with Machacha, um, the happening. Um, it's his follow up from last year's project, which I had as my number one at my year end list, which was Lavish Language, which was a phenomenal project. we all had really great things to say about it. Steven had it in his honorable mentions. Malenko had good things to say about it as well. It didn't end up on people's top tens necessarily, but it was my top one. And I was really curious to see how he would follow up Lavish Language, which was a solid second project for Josiah the Gift, how he would follow it up this year, especially earlier on in the year. We are in the first 2 months of the year. And yeah, goddamn, he didn't disappoint. So I'll let Steven take care of it, because Steven at this point is really good in terms of introducing and setting the pace for Malenko and myself. So Steven.
Wow.
What do you got to say?
You basically just put out the red carpet for me. I really don't do anything. But we are here. We're going to give 2 reviews tonight, but the first one that we're going to spend a lot of time on, I think it's very necessary, as Derek brought to the table, the Josiah the Gift, completely produced by one of the best producers right now in the sphere of hip-hop, Machacha, who is able to give us such quality in production value.
Machacha's on fire this year, by the way, boys.
He's on fire every year, but the last 2 years and the beginning of the year, he comes hard, so strong.
Pause.
Like, it's unbelievable. And he's really given us like projects to really dig deep into. And he has so much variety with the way he produces. We said this on many of the podcasts that we repeat ourselves so much with Machacha, but it's so goddamn true what he's able to give to us and what he's able to put on the table for these artists to be able to lay these bars, these verses, put their heart and soul out. He's just amazing with that. We'll get into the piece of the production throughout here, but Josiah the Gift and Machacha, The Happening. I am going to start this off with the quote unquote intro to the album. The first song, Je. Okay, we'll get into the title as well. But the way the album starts off, they acting like they ain't feeling my presence. Bars a bunch of dangerous weapons. Artistry I illustrate in magic. Forming a painting with no sketching. I just spit at the canvas, colors just starting, blending, signature with this marvelous penning. While my ink got plateless, drew blood on the pavement till it's permanent. The artifacts and hieroglyphics is ancient.
He spit it faster though on the song. Huh? Don't worry, guys. The guy says it faster.
He says it much faster, and no, we are not kidding. That's what he says from the get-go. Once you start this album, so we'll put things into perspective. For those of you that have listened, you'll know what we're talking about. For those of you who haven't listened, who are listening to us as feedback and to possibly listen to the album, this starts off with all it is a simple guitar beat. There's nothing to it. It's just a very minimal guitar beat. And he gets to work with exactly what Steven said. From the get-go, once you start this project and you start this album, I remember starting it, and 10 seconds in, I pause and I'm like, okay, wait, I have to restart it. I was not ready for him going so heavy from the get-go. And honestly, it makes you reset. Do you think you're going to go into this, give it an easy first listen to just get in the mood? No, that's not how this works. Don't put this on in the car. Don't put this on if you think you're going to go around cleaning the house. Don't do it, because I promise you, if you're trying to be productive while listening to this project, you will not be productive. The only thing you'll be productive on is listening to this project. You can't do 2 things at once with this. And like Steven mentioned, everything that he mentioned, that's straight from the get-go. And that's just the first 15 seconds, 20 seconds.
Look,
the first, it's the first
3-minute song.
Bars, like the first 5 bars, and already I had the same reaction as I had the same reaction. I was the first time I tried to listen to, I was doing the cleaning, and I had to stop. I'm like, okay, I need to actually sit down and listen. So I listened on first try on just doing the cleaning at the house, passing the vacuum. But yeah, after the listens were like sitting down properly, taking notes, and that's exactly what I wrote. What I wrote here on my screen for the intro. Like they don't start with a like a big. They don't start with a bang. Let's say with the beat wise, it's
Which is
just
smart, which
an
is great.
attention. It's just an attention grabber and pure bars. And he brought Vega for the intro. So that for me is just like, listen, this is gonna be bar fest. And this beat Machacha, that what he did is perfect because yes, it's just guitar, but there is some drops here and there, bass drops here and there, more at the through the progression of the song. Genius way to start it. Genius way to start.
And I want to add, and the reason why I wanted to go through these bars is because I look at the track list. Okay, I like to look at the track list. I like to see what we're gonna get. I like to see how many songs I'm gonna get. I'd like to see what the featurings are. And I'll be honest, from the get-go, when I looked at the track list, I saw them starting off with Je and a featuring right away. Then I saw the second song, which is Honor, another featuring. Then Guess Who with another featuring. And in my mindset, I'm like, hold on a second. How is that gonna play out the album? How, with 3 featurings right away, without an intro? So pressing play and getting caught off guard with the way the beat sounded, how simplistic it was with just guitar, and like Malenko said, drops here and there, made it an intro, made it a beginning of an album, made it a statement, made it important. And that's why I'm bringing you all these bars, how we started off that verse. He's basically giving you, he's telling you what he is doing with his pen. And
Absolutely.
how,
And he says it afterwards too, where you stop saying the bars that followed was give a fuck about making your placement. Shit, I'm cool with making quality for the fans. Look at their faces.
Yeah.
So like, and after that, he followed it up with blindfolded for battle. I take 10 paces, then draw. Like this is a version of Josiah that I have probably yet to hear, yet to notice. But this is a Josiah he's hungry. He sounds upset. He sounds like he's upset at the culture of hip hop and whoever people say is the top or on top or whatever the case may be. And he has lines that refer to that throughout this song as well. And how do you address that? He already has great penmanship, but how does he address it even more? He addresses a minimal beat, bar heavy, 3-minute song. And just in case that wasn't enough to just have him and his penmanship, he brings in Vega, which is another great lyricist, another guy who's known for his pen, and they put it number 1 on the album. If that's not a statement, like Steven said, this song is a statement for the rest of the album. If you think the rest of the album is easy going from there, it is not. Let me guarantee you, it is not. This beginning of a song, it's not like, oh, let's start heavy and taper down. It doesn't quit from there. It starts and it just keeps going for the entire album. And there's verses in there that there's bars in there that I want to touch up on. The one I just mentioned for me was great, meaning that he's just taking shots at everyone. He doesn't care. He's proclaiming himself as being one of the best in the game right now. He had a slick little one after that where he says, I bring the tech in for the martial law. So tech as in the gun, martial law as in like what after a certain time it's curfew at the military, but tech in as in the video game, and martial law is a character in the video game Tekken.
That's nasty. Nasty word.
Come on. That's a nasty bar. That's a nasty bar. It's so well done. There's another one. Popovich. I Popovich play like Puck, but I'm opposite in comparison. I rose when you told me to crawl. Popovich, Greg Popovich.
Yeah.
Rose, Derek Rose. From. Come on. No. Josiah really likes his basketball. He's got a lot of basketball references in most of this, but
throughout the album.
But come on. Like he's too slick with it. He's
the
too
play
slick
on words, the references. Man, we could look. I think I've listened to Jure more times than I've listened to any song in 2024, 2023, 2022, and it's only
Yeah.
been out for about a week and a bit.
It's a heavy song.
It's a heavy song, but it's for guys like us who like to really sit down with our music and be able to like really break down the bars. Like, I don't want to be considered as the podcast that likes to break down the bars and break down the lyrics that much, but it's so well put together and so interesting and so important for us to be able to take an artist like Josiah the Gift and really shine a light on him.
And we
Like-
have to. This is what he was trying to do with his
Mhm.
project, show off his penmanship. We have to highlight that penmanship with highlighting certain bars. And we didn't even go into any of Vega's verse whatsoever. And
I have it
Vega's
written down.
He went ham too. The
I
boy
have it
went
written
the
down.
boy went full ham as well. So it's a big one.
Look, if you want to go right away with, we could do Vega right now. Most of these consumers ain't your fans. They just ride for the moment. Thy loyalty based on which artist bars on the rising totem. I go place them in a vase when they provide the roses. Try and water them, put the flowers they gave are hydrophobic, meaning they do not mix well with water.
So hydrophobic, for those of you who don't know, it means it doesn't absorb water. It doesn't take water. It just rejects water. So, like, come on, guys. Come on. You don't need to read in terms of someone giving him flowers and he's trying to care for those flowers, but those flowers were never meant to grow. They're just fake flowers.
And he
They're just
says it
throwing-
after. Derek, he says it after. It's not designed for us to spy the code. Certain lines he quotes is for his indulgence.
He's telling you that you're not supposed to understand his bars. He just writes them for himself. Come on, man.
And
He's
not
playing
listening.
with us. He's playing with us.
And I'm not listening. And I sit down like an asshole and take these bars and try and spy decode them. And like, I'm gonna say to you like this, just the way these two have put this song together, and we're putting a lot of emphasis on this song, and I think it's important, but these two are two of the best. Last year, the Abyss podcast asked what were the top 5 rising stars in this culture, and I put Josiah. If you don't believe me, you can go ask Lucky Cage. I put Josiah in it, okay? Because I think he's a rising star, okay? And I think that people need to really pay attention to the music that he's putting out, because his music is very necessary and very important. It's phenomenal artistry that he's giving to us. And he really did that on this album, The Happening with Machacha. They acting like they ain't feeling my presence. For God's sakes, if you don't feel his presence with this album, then you're not really a fan of hip hop. This is lyricism at its finest. And to finish off your song with Vega 7, who is probably the, if not top 2 best artists in hip hop right now. Like, guys, Kendrick said it a long time ago. If you guys were really into lyricism, then Killer Mike would be platinum. For Christ's sakes, if you're really into lyricism and hip hop, then Josiah the Gift and Vega 7 would be platinum. Like that sticks into my brain, because people always talk about hip hop and lyricism and stuff like that. And I never hear people talk about these two artists. Fucking pay attention. Stop. Listen to the podcast. Listen to other podcasts that are highlighting these two MCs. They are phenomenal MCs.
That's the first song. It gets me funny because it's just the first song. We haven't passed the first song. You're already ranting about people not listening.
But it's
the first song.
But it's true. It's like to some point, like, yeah, I could be happy with 50 to 100 to 150 people listening to our platform, but I'm fed up now. I want to have 1,000 people listen to this platform. I want to have 2,000 people. Why? So they could discover artists like Josiah the Gift, because it's very necessary. I've said this before. Guys like Nas, you put Josiah in that category of MCing and rapping. Like why can't people give an album like Josiah to a Busta Rhymes? and be like, and so that it could open their mind and be like, wow, there's guys out
Don't
there
give
that
it to
could
Busta. Don't give
So-
it to Busta.
So
Busta's
there's a
gonna
line.
ruin them.
He is. There's a
Busta gonna
line.
ruin them.
There's a line by Vega. Well, there's a little set of bars by Vega that I think really describe what we're saying. And he goes, I don't subscribe to no notion of who's implied as goated. Because everything in life is as we know it, it is seen as time exposes.
Mhm.
Just when they won't pay attention until the players they worship take a higher notice, this shit's kind of bogus. Speak on these matters in public, they crucify the notion and say that jealousy is your private motive.
Mm.
So basically, if you're exposing those fake guys, if you're exposing the guys that are up top, if you're exposing the guys who you're calling as goated, you just sound like a jealous guy. If you're a rapper, you just sound like a jealous guy, but you're the one putting in the work. No, I'm not jealous. Your notion of how I'm approaching this in my work, you're not understanding what I'm telling you. I'm approaching this with love and passion, and this is all I do. It's all I want to do. This is what I give. And then he goes on to say that like that for him, it's a bitter pill to swallow. And then he goes on with a little slick line that says, guess that ibuprofen, Advil, has an iron coat.
Yeah.
So as in a bullet. So listen, these guys did not play around on this track. They laid it out that they're done playing. They're done playing. And if you think only the first song is them taking shots and them sort of like flashing and being like showcasey,
that's not the case.
It's not the case. Malenko just said it. It was not the case because the rest of
case.
this album is about to smack you right in the face too.
Yep. No.
So before we move on, I'm gonna put something out into the atmosphere, and I'm gonna say it like this, and you guys could touch on it.
Yeah.
But Josiah and Vega 7, to me, and there's just one song, are two of the best I've heard together in a very long time. Like if these two guys could give us a full 10 song, fuck it. I'll even take 7 to 8 songs. I'll invest in it. Okay. I'll give my money. Okay. And I'll help put the project together. It'd probably be the best duo. I'm not even kidding you. I would put those two guys up, bar for bar, lyrics for lyrics, song for song, up against anyone. I want to see it. I want to see these two guys put out an album together. I want to really, really see it. I think it's really necessary, and I think it's very important for these two to be able to put an album out together, or an EP, or whatever the hell you want to call it. For Christ's sakes, make them put it over jazz beats. Make Machacha just take a guitar and do a couple of strings here and there for 8 songs and just put out an album. It's necessary. These guys are the brothers of destruction. Okay. This is like when Kane and The Undertaker, after all the battling that they did, after all the Buried Alive matches, the Hell in the Cell matches, the cage matches, the fucking when the ring was on fire matches, got together and became the tag team champions, and they became the brothers of destruction. This is what this is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's the best penmanship you're going to get into hip hop. I'll argue with anyone. That's basically what it is.
With you. I can't disagree with you on that one. With that being said, though, that is not going to be an album for everyone.
No,
that's not going to be the album that you put while you're vacuuming or while you're doing the dishes, because your head's going to explode. And even if you're paying attention to it, your head is still going to explode regardless. It's going to happen. So I think there's a market for it. I think there's some of us that want to listen to that. And we're just literally, we're going to buy the album and we're going to just put it there. And I'm going to say, this is poetry. Don't touch it. This is unattainable. You even on a good day, day with 6 Red Bulls, you can't touch this.
You need a key to open it to listen to it.
And listen, this comes after a time where I'll mention it for the sake of mentioning it, but this comes after a time of not too long ago. I listened to the most recent King Los freestyle that he did with Just Incredible.
Okay,
and I was like, Jesus Christ, this guy's got bars, and he does. I'm not taking anything away from King Los whatsoever. But Jesus fucking Christ. Like I was listening to the King Los and I was like listening to the bars. I'm like, there's some I missed. They weren't hard to catch, but they weren't easy to catch. But this one had me in a little bit of a situation. Like, it took me like 3 hours to write down the bars, and I'm pretty sure I fucked it all up.
I fucked it all up. I did this whole fucking thing got fucked up. I probably misplaced the bars. But anyways, I think it was very necessary for us to touch light on this song. Malenko, I know you're sitting there sniffling, sneezing. Let's get on to song 2 because there's a lot more to the album. Song 2, Honor.
We did 25 minutes on an intro.
Yeah,
I love it. Song 2, Honor, featuring Willie the Kid. Second song with a featuring. Again, well done. Talking about growing up in Jersey, stealing from his neighbor, measuring honor, backstabbing. There's a big theme to this album. There's a lot of honor, backstabbing, just issues that he's had with certain people. He named on the first song an issue he's had with his cousin. It's something that comes up throughout the album. This was a really good song. This was a great follow-up. Oh man,
yeah,
I love that beat. I think that's my top 3 beat.
It's Malenko. Correct me if I'm wrong. It has to do with the loop that's used and also that voice. Am I wrong?
It's just, I mean, I don't want to talk too much because you guys say a lot that the things that I think of, but like this album, I was like, I was surprised. Like, this shit is. We just had Ty Farris not too long ago that totally surprised me. Eddie Kane that did something amazing again, and now we have Josiah that just again with Machacha added something. And like, I mean, that beat, Honor, and the delivery of Josiah on this is perfect. I think it's perfect. He's hungry on there. It's a slow beat, but he's still super hungry, and he carries that beat. And I'll advance right away. One of my favorite songs is Royalties because of that pocket that he switch up this pocket. He's trying something different. I love that hook. I love that fucking hook. I think he's so interesting to hear rap, Josiah. He's so hungry right now. He's
subject matter too. I want to add the subject matter and the themes of the album again. Once again, like on Royalties with featuring the philosopher Mav. I love hearing Mav, man. Mav is just having his presence on songs just uplifts anything. And his knowledge and just being, I don't want to say the older guy, but the peer to Josiah is just amazing to hear on here. But to your point, Malenko, is just the themes and what he talks about on here is just so interesting. He's a very interesting author. It's like he's writing a book on this album.
But he makes it interesting too. I think in my opinion, that song, though it's not in my favorite songs, it's the song I had the most to say in terms of the overall vibe of the song. Like I wrote, it's less my vibe flow wise and beat wise, but both of those go together so well. And his charisma comes through so much on that song. There's a part in the middle where he has like this slick little bar, and the way he delivers it as though like he's talking to you, like not rapping, but like he puts the emotion behind like the words. And I think that went a long way. And he touched up on Mav, and Mav, his tone of voice and the rasp to it was so good and so copper. He was a little bit grimier. Like I got like that stank face listening to Mav rap. And I thought that the closing part of the song, the ending part of the song was probably one of the highlights in the entire album. The closing of that song was spectacular. It was so good.
Grown man raps. That's what
it's just. I wonder, for me, when I listen to this album, I wonder the structure and how Machacha and Josiah worked for this. because again, we're gonna add a couple minutes on the intro. But did they decided that that was the intro right away? Did they record it thinking that was the intro? Like,
Well,
I wonder those things
the
because the
beat.
beat sounds like an intro, something you would go in first or an interlude type of way. So, I mean, we'll never get. I guess we'll never really know. But the and royalties would make me think. I have it on my notes. I wrote Boldy James, and you know why? Because royalties is something that breaks the rhythm of the album, and that is something that when I listen to like a Boldy James, I don't get. You know what I mean? Sometimes when you get those rappers, they're gonna just rap bars over your ears the whole song for the whole album. It can be 11 songs, it can be 17 songs, but sometimes you need something to break your ear and get your attention back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that when I listened to the last Boldy James album, I'm like, fuck, I'm just tired. My ear is just tired of going through those songs. The same structure, the same monotone flow. But royalties, that's what it done to me. It breaks it up. It breaks it up, and it's a perfect moment. It's a bit in the middle, and it gives you like a more of like a hype little refrain. So that's what I wrote here. I have Boldy James just because that's something that it missing sometimes.
And Milenko makes a very good point.
Yeah.
Because we didn't touch on the tracks before. We'll probably touch at it at the end in terms of like what's our favorite tracks. But from royalties, maybe Teflon. I really enjoy Teflon.
Love Teflon.
From that point
beat.
on, yeah. The beat, the wisdom in the bars, it's absolutely great.
He's just wrapping circles around everyone,
Yeah.
and how he's Teflon.
Yeah, but from that point on, from royalties and Teflon on, we get a drastic change in the album in terms of the production. Like a drastic change. We start having these really, really loud beats that are like almost to a certain point as loud, if not overshadowing some of the voice and the rapping that comes through. Machacha on the later part of this album, from a production standpoint and a mixing standpoint, though the next tracks that follow. So that's like The Lord Is My Shepherd, Heroes, When the Pen Hits, significantly harder beats. Like the beats are very much noticeable. The beginning of the album is very sort of like a little bit more minimal and atmospheric, but the back half of this album is heavy hard beats. Am I wrong?
It was put together
Oh yeah,
properly.
for sure. Oh man.
It was like the beginning of a movie, and it ends off. It's like an action movie.
I wish Absol was on the when the pen hits. Absol and this guy would be fucking amazing. Josiah with Absol on this, forget about it. Oh my god, dude, there's this fucking album, dude. There's no skips, fucking perfectly done. 11 songs, 34 minutes, fucking perfect. I love this shit.
I want to highlight a couple of things. Number one, when the pen hits, since we spoke about that, start at the margin and let the ink write is endless. Like, just starting off your song with that grabs you into what he's just gonna rap about this whole song, and that's just basically like how a pen writes through his thoughts and his process, and what the ink does, just splattering his blood and his sweat and his tears on paper. Like how he's able to tell us that and make us think about what he's saying. He puts us in a zone. He puts us in a different atmosphere that we really need to use the thought process of what he's doing and how he's doing it. He's making us think about what he's doing and how he's doing it. Like, it was just
he's on another level. Josiah right now is on it.
It was just brilliant.
On those jazz drums, bro. Fuck. The production on those drums are fucking. I love that beat. The progression of it, the ins and outs of that beat. Damn. Yeah.
And Thor, I'm extravagant. Bitches saying I'm ravishing, Rick Rude, and comparison. All your shit is embarrassing. I hope I said it right. I've been terrible just fucking saying these lyrics. But like
that one, Thor for me is, I wrote Talk Your Shit Boy because he really went hard in terms of like when the drums come in, on that song when the
Oh,
beat. Oh my god!
yeah.
Oh my god! It's
Mm.
got to be one of the best beat drops I've heard in a hip hop album in a long time. The way they build that up and they bring it at the perfect moment, it just hits so
Yeah.
hard. And he's got a bar in there. Your future, my past fascination. Like your future is my past
Yeah.
fascination.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so
Yeah.
hard. Immediately, he so doesn't care about you. Like you're old school. I'm on a whole other level. Like I'm on a whole other level of fascination you can't even comprehend. And I thought that was such a clever way to write that he's not on your level. I thought that was really good.
If you notice something about his vocal tones on his songs is that as the song progresses, his his pitch and his tone gets higher and higher and higher. It follows the beat. Malenko, you spoke about the ticks on the first song. If you notice, his vocal tones and he becomes higher, his pitch. It follows the beat exactly. It's just, man, I don't know what to tell you. And he mentions on Guess Who featuring Eddie Kane that Machacha hit him up a while ago, but he had to take his time with it. And this is what time gives us. Just a body of work like this is just amazing to see. Heroes is one of my favorite songs.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about how as you grow up, your heroes could change.
Mm-hmm.
And how you define your heroes. He mentions 80 WrestleMania when Hogan fought the Giant, Clash of the Titans, Defiant, slamming your heroes. I'm done with rap.
Done. Yep. Love that line. Done. Mm. We haven't even spoke about the fucking trivial, bro. The outro is fucking insane as well, bro.
Yeah, we haven't spoken about the song with Jamil Honesty.
Fuck.
Another swordsman. I fucking called Jamil Honesty a swordsman every time he's on a featuring.
Yeah, and he brought all those names and he still didn't get the spotlight took from him.
No.
That's crazy.
Absolutely not. And
that's crazy to me.
And I want to bring it back to what I said before regarding him being the rising star of 2024 is because people really need to start paying attention to him. People need to see the Josiah the Gift name and really be, who is this? There's something interesting about this guy. This guy has a lot to offer us.
This fucking album took Larry June and 2 Chainz out my rotation like this, bro, like this. When we finished the review, I listened to a couple of songs again from the Larry June album. Then when I jumped on this, okay, I'm done. That's it. That's it for the year, Larry June. Thank you. Like that's it. I mean, this outshine Larry June, 2 Chainz, and Alchemist Beats to me. That's fucking insane.
Absolutely.
That's fucking insane.
And Machacha, man, the sequencing. Talk about the sequencing of this. Like, you spoke about how did they pick which songs were going to go where? That's Machacha. I can guarantee you, Machacha has that ear for it. All his albums that he produces, he's also had 2 albums that came out in the last year of just his production with a bunch of different artists, and they just don't sound like throwaway tracks or just sound like a bunch of songs put together. He has an ear for sequencing and how the album is supposed to flow. Do you know how important that is when you listen to an album? That's why when I looked at the back of the album and I saw the featurings and how the songs were there, and I'm like, man, there's no intro. How is this gonna really make me be able to listen to it with a featuring right away? Machacha. I'm sure that song would have maybe have been middle of the pack towards the end, maybe, but that beat and that it was just the beginning.
How many fucking beats does he have, bro? How many fucking beats? How many beats? What the fuck, bro? You just dropped an album with Eddie Kane. How many
Does it sound
beats?
like this? Does it sound like this? Absolutely not.
I honestly, but this beat selection to me is fucking elite to me. I gotta say, with all due respect, because the Crown Me Kane is insane, but to me, this, the beat selection, beat wise, and the sequencing is
Josiah,
insane. Fuck, man, Machacha, what the fuck, bro? How many beats? How many beats a day? Jesus.
Josiah and Ronan look into the eyes of their opponent. Your favorite rapper hold their breath when they see fire smoking. Brothers of Destruction. Derek, what's your favorite song? Pick one, and it can't be the first song on the album.
I gotta pick one. It's
Wow.
probably going to be Guess Who.
Guess who? Yeah.
It's probably going to be Guess Who featuring Eddie Kane. I think Eddie Kane is on fire right now. Yeah, I think that one is for me was the perfect combination of the groovy type of beat that I like. It had a great hook. There was a lot of good bars. It was heavy. It was a lot to decode. The feature was great. So for me, I think that was the one that I gravitated to the most. The one that checked the most boxes. It was for me was probably that one.
Eddie Kane, I pop up like Guess Who? Malenko?
Royalties, I think. Royalties. I don't know why. I know it's not his most technical. Either that or Trivial, because I love that flow. I love when he flows like that. But I go with Royalties. To pick one, Royalties. But it switches all the time, and I guess like I like all the album. There's no skip on this.
You touched on Trivial. We didn't really touch on it, but his flow
Fuck.
is completely
Dude.
different
Oh my
from
God,
any of
dude.
the songs on the whole entire album.
But that's
That.
That's the thing I said I said it on this podcast multiple times. I listen to music when I get reaction out of music. That's why I do this shit. That's why I loved it, because I get chills, because I get emotional, because I'm gonna be alone and I'm gonna be like fucking screaming in my house, or like I can pass a vacuum and be like, oh my God, and just screaming out loud and doing stink faces. This is why we do this type of album. Ty Farris gave me that this year, and this is the same thing for me. Like, I was so surprised, and the sequencing is so well made, such an enjoyable album. That's why I listen to music for shit like this.
Yeah, that's why
we do this. That's why we do this, because it gives me the chills. It just gave me the chills. It's something that I love to play any moment. I can play this.
I wake up in the morning to listen to albums like this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm saying it flat out. Josiah, I appreciate you greatly, man. Thank you for making an album like this. And I just really, really, really hope that the rest of the people that listen to hip hop, and I know this is cliche to say, and can be very annoying and very like, yeah, whatever. But I really want people that say they listen to hip hop and say that they listen to Nas's and Jay-Z's and Biggie's and this and that, like really really dig, man. Go fucking dig and fucking find artists, man. Stop saying you don't listen to it or you've listened to it and there's no great artist out there. This guy is a great artist. Artist. And it's not like it's his second album. He's put out many albums since 2019, 2020. You know what I mean? It's just, this is fucking his best work. Like, it's his best work. And here, I'm going to say my favorite song on this changes daily. It would, if you're asking me right now, it's probably when the pen hits. Mm-hmm. But if I'm like in a mood really to like head nod, it's Teflon. I think Teflon is, hey, I'm going to go on, I don't know, Just Incredible or Hot 97, and I'm just going to freestyle over somebody else's beat. This is what this is. I'm just fucking Teflon, and I'm going to fucking annihilate the beat. So I'm going to be the first person to give my score, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm going to go with a solid 9.5.
9.5? 9.5 out of 10. I think it's a solid 9. Solid 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9 as well. It's so significantly different from his last project, but just as good. Two different vibes, two different energies coming off both of those records. Album drops tomorrow. Vinyl drops tomorrow anyway. I'm buying that shit again. Hopefully I don't get it 6 months later like the other one. But yeah, listen, right now, he can't miss. If you're listening to this podcast, if you're a fan of hip hop, if you're a fan of lyricism, if you're a fan of penmanship, honestly, if just go on Copenhagen Crates, just buy the album, support the artist, show them
Buy
the
the
love.
album. Buy the fucking
You'll
album.
you won't regret it. You won't regret buying this album. You'll have this album for 5 years. You'll play it again in 5 years, and you're gonna catch more shit. It's a gift that keeps giving. It's phenomenal.
The phenomenal one, Josiah the Gift.
Yeah. What's next for him? I wish I want him to do an album with El Cotola. Cotola from Montreal. Link up, bro. Link up. He's gonna give him great beats. Great beats. That's all I want.
What are we? 4 hours into the episode, and we've been just speaking about the same album.
Yeah, that happening. What an album.
I have no more water. Could somebody get me some water? And the last album of the evening, he puts out an album. We listen, we speak about it, we review about it. I think it's the 850th review we've done. Malenko, do you want to name what this album is?
12. Just 12. He called it 12. He dropped the Hitler out of it. I think Kanye put him in the hot seat. He's like, I can't do that shit anymore. Yeah.
Probably. That's probably the actual reason why there's no more Hitler Wears Hermes. It's probably because of that.
Probably that, and he's bigger now than back then. So if he does something like that, I don't know. Maybe he's just whatever.
I think Kanye ruined everything for everybody, just to be honest with you. But if you don't
What
know
a
what we're
mess.
talking about,
What a mess that guy. It's fucking horrendous.
if you don't know what we're talking about, we are talking about Westside Gunn with the new album 12. How many songs? 11?
11 songs. Yeah. 11 songs, 43 minutes.
I'm gonna say it like this first off and foremost. Westside Gunn, don't put out 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Forget it. Drop the number. Leave it at 12. Let's
He's
move on.
not gonna do that.
I know he's not gonna do that, but for the love of God, I don't want, like, it should have stopped at 10.
I think he should have stopped at 10 as well. I
Right?
thought 10 was all right. Yeah.
And now let's just call it something else. You could call it anything else in the world. You could have called it Michelle World.
Yeah,
Or
but he called
Michelle
it-
Records.
But it's free slide for Big Dump. That's kind of like the subtitle.
It's the slogan now.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So let's do it. Let's review Westside Gunn's 12. Derek, you're laughing at the bottom because I know exactly what you're gonna say throughout this whole review. Michelle World, great intro. Am I wrong? Great intro.
It's just classic Westside Gunn. There's nothing more.
Flamboyant.
This is a straight formula of anything you've done for the last years.
But can I ask you something?
I think this is probably gonna be the last review we do for Westside Gunn.
You think?
Yeah,
Look,
I
wanna
really
say-
think so.
Look, there's not that much to say about this.
No,
You hit the nail on the coffin.
On the head.
And
the head.
why did I say coffin? I've been watching too much Undertaker versus Stone Cold Buried
Yeah.
Alive matches.
It's because it's the death of the Westside Gun reviews on the all-time pod.
I think it is. I really think it is. Still Praying is the same thing as this.
But
And then
Malenko,
You Pray For Me is the same thing as this.
but my
10
question
is
to
the
you
same
is
thing as this.
my question to you is Westside Gunn could put out 450 projects a year. He sticks to the same formula, but we still want that from him. It's not like we're complaining that he's giving us the same thing. It's what we like from him. It's what he's the best at doing. We don't see it any other
Listen,
way.
I listen. I'm not gonna complain about it, but I think it's if somebody likes Fast and the Furious and they listen to the 7 Fast and the Furious, they're all good. I'm gonna tell them, okay, that's good. If you like Saw and you watch the 10 of them and they're all the same thing, it's okay. It's the same thing for this. I think if you're a fan, you're gonna like this. He doesn't go out the way left. He doesn't go out the right. When he did he did once an album with like 3 trap song, and his fan base was already fucking leaving. The Griselda, the Reddit, by the way, I left that thing because the Griselda Reddit is the worst. The fan are the worst.
They would kill you. They would find where you live and murder you.
They're the fucking worst. They're the fucking worst. I hate that. I hate that Reddit. I left because it was just complaining. Um, it reminds me a bit of wrestling fans. It's like they think they know everything already and whatever. But this is pretty formulaic. I think you get the Michelle word. Michelle word. That's a sample.
Who is the GOAT?
That's better. I think he still has the ear though. That's the main thing. I think he still have this ear. Stove Got Cooks stole the show 110%. I think
Always.
I think at this point, because it's classic Westside Gunn. Westside Gunn doesn't want to be the spotlight on his own album. He never was. He never wanted that. He likes to produce, put names that we never. Now he put this guy, Brother Tom SOS. Nobody know who he is, and listen, the 2 songs, they're really good. I enjoyed those 2 songs. They were really surprising to me. It was structured songs by one, Westside Gunn with his unstructured, but this one was actually structured, good hooks, good beats. It was classic. I think Vert is a classic. Vert is like a 2016.
Vert's this. You know what Vert is? Vert is this. Cut your veins open, because that's what the Westside Gunn sound is, and that's what the people fiend for. They fiend for Vert. They fiend for Adam Page going into Vert. That's basically what the fan base wants. That's what we want. That's what we love to hear. It sounded like fucking Hitler wears Hermes 3, 4, 5.
110%. I love fucking Outlander. The last song, that's my shit. That's my shit. That's why I want to listen to a Westside Gunn. That sample and him just fucking being braggadocious and fuck all of you. I'm the best. I'm this. I'm that. He's on his own dick. He says it. I'm on my own dick. He yells it at you. I mean, I enjoyed this. A lot. The main point that I did enjoy, as the same thing as Fly God or what Peace Fly God, is ST Too much ST for me. We can find someone else. ST does his thing, but at the same time, like on Vert, I would have taken out the ST I would have Westside Gunn Stove Gods. And that's it, man. I think this album, if you're a fan, you're gonna enjoy this. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm gonna listen to this a lot on rotation. Like the songs that I like, to me, are really good Westside Gunn songs.
It's better than what he put out last year. They're still praying.
I think so too.
And 11. It's a lot more structured. It doesn't feel rushed. Even though he says he's recorded it in half a minute, but
it's still the same as always.
Yeah,
he always said that. He always recorded his song. He always recorded an album in like 2 days, and like it's so classic. It's like, I don't know if he puts that much effort on it, but
one thing I'm gonna disagree with you on is the Estenac. Estenac isn't on it as much as he was on Peace Fly God.
No, not that much, but he's here. He's
on.
He's the first voice. He's the first voice you hear on the album.
Yeah, that's something I would have changed. Mm-hmm. Okay, I like to hear Westside Gunn open up albums. That's the first thing I wanna hear, especially if you're coming off Michelle World, asking who is the GOAT. Westside Gunn should have started off Boswell. My opinion on that. Look, Estenac is on 4 songs. I enjoy him on the 4 songs. Peace Fly God had Estenac with like 100,000 bars on each song, where he would rap for like 6 minutes, and then Westside Gunn or Stove God would come in at the end. It's a bit more structured on here. Stove God to me, anything that Stove God gets to be put on is just magic. It's just unicorns, rainbows, and you're just fucking levitating through space. Okay, that's base. Put Stove God on anything. To me, it's just the best formula that you've ever created in your whole entire life, right? It's like giving crack to fiends.
But he's so unique.
He's
He's
so
so
unique.
unique, and
He
he's still
hesitates when he raps. Like, you know, when he does that hesitation, like he says
Yeah.
up like a verse or like a
Yeah.
sentence, and then he hesitates and he switches it up.
Yeah. I love 055.
Adam Page, Malenko. Adam Page.
I like that. Like, there's no bad to me. There's really no bad songs. Honestly, there's no bad songs. I sound like I'm complaining about the album that it's always, but I fucking enjoy these type of albums. I
Bury
mean, I'm
me
a
a
fan.
stove
So.
with a stove. Sorry.
Oh fuck.
It's what we want to hear. It's what we want to hear.
East Miami is probably the only one I would have taken off. East Miami is slow, too slow.
Dump World is, I like it because there's Elijah Hook to finish it off.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I look the brother Tom SOS. Look, they're good songs. They're decent songs. I like his flow is different. He sounds more southern than anything else. But I don't think we needed those songs on the album. So if you're asking me to take off a song, I probably would have taken off Health Science. I would have kept Gumbo Yaya.
Oh no, I love L Science Me. I was actually surprised again. Like Brother Tom SOS, great verse. That beat is sick. You don't like that beat?
It's a song. I don't know.
It's
Maybe
dreamy.
it's gonna grow on me. Pause.
Oh yeah, I love that. I love that beat.
But Adam Page into Vert, that's what we want to hear. It's that classic fucking Westside Gunn. If you don't know who Adam Page is, Malenko, can you just please put him up on the screen?
Yeah.
Thank
But
you.
I mean, fuck, if you listen to this podcast and you don't know who Adam Page is, what the fuck is wrong
bullets hit you like Adam Page. Is that what he said? Or bullets hit you, flip you like Adam Page?
with you? Flip you. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So
And yeah, the plug name on my phone says plug. I fucking Stove God Cooks, bro. He sold a brick in front of Epcot. Like, I mean, he's fucking funny, and I love how he changes voices and all. I mean, again, the guy stole the show for me. Stole the show.
the
Totally.
best formula ever is Stove God Cooks. Point blank period. You fucking put him on anything. The guy is he's the cheat code.
Oh, 100%. 100. He's so unique. Sometimes, we just talked about the album with all the bars, right? But sometimes the way you say things and the charisma you put in the back of it counts for more than everything else. Like, you're gonna remember those bars when he sang and he says that, like, yeah, that he sold this. Oh, he like the Rusty line. Oh, he says, you haven't cooked in a long. You're rusty. I got my tetanus shot. Like, it's stuff that it sticks with you.
The one-liners.
It's so it's not complicated as we just got, but with like an album like The Happening, that's just bars, we have to write it down. This I don't have to write it down. I just remember because I laughed when I listened to the first.
Malenko, since you're the edit technical guy, all of a sudden, how atrocious is the mixing on this album?
Oh, dude. Well, it picks up on the Health Science and Gumbo Yaya.
Yeah,
it like is straightened up. Like those two songs, it's so weird. It's so weird. Like those two songs are like really classic hip hop songs, real like album type of, and the other ones are pretty. It's all fucked.
Boswell sounds, no joke, if it was recorded in a basement and the machine wash was on.
Yeah, I mean it reminds me a bit of like a MF Doom type of beat, or yeah.
I just find the recording and the mixing on here is just really bad.
Rough, like usual.
Yeah, even the tone, the vocal tones, I just find Stove sometimes is higher. Estenac is really super low. It's like you want to put the volume up to hear what he's saying. That's really the negative on this. Let's ask the person that's been sitting there quietly for the last 20 minutes on the outside looking in.
I don't know what to say. I was very critical of my last Westside Gunn listen. Whenever Steven told me we were recording this episode and he told me that we were doing a Westside Gun, I was like, oh boy, here we go. And my reaction after listening to my second Westside Gun project was, oh boy, here we go. Highlight was Stove Got Cooked. The features were really good. I enjoyed all the features. The production, the mixing of it, it's just really hard for me to get into. I think Gumbo Yaya was probably my favorite. Yeah,
Which the last one you review with us is Still Praying, right?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
You like
It's
it better than Still Praying, though.
by 0.5,
Okay.
maybe, perhaps.
Okay.
I guess it was less outrageous, but still outrageous, just slightly less outrageous than the previous one. But I think the features are what stole the show for me for the most part. I think the features added the value that I was missing. Yeah, it's just a tough listen for me. Like, especially coming off of the happening and coming off of the Eddie Kane and coming off of the King Los freestyle and coming off of Ty Farris. Like, you got to be in a certain mood and a certain mindset to listen to a Westside Gun, and my brain just wasn't off enough to enjoy it. It's as simple as that. And I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever enjoy it. To be perfectly honest, listen, it's just my music style. It's just the way it is. I just think it sounds generic. Everything sounds the same. There's nothing that hooks me to it. There's nothing different about it. I like when artists try something different. I like seeing progression in artists. I like seeing them take risk. I like all of that, and that is not the artist to do that whatsoever. He just gives you the same formula over. Listen, if your favorite meal in this world is a Hungry Man dinner with turkey and potatoes, don't ever change. That's what this is.
Yeah.
The Stouffer's.
It's a backyard barbecue.
Yeah.
Backyard barbecue was my favorite Hungry Man. I used to eat that all the time.
If that's your favorite,
So
favorite
bad.
thing, it always tastes. It's like, I don't know if Americans know about this, but it's like Chef Boyardee.
Yeah. Oh, they know it's American Chef Boyardee.
You can't argue ever against someone who says that like their favorite like midnight snack is Chef Boyardee.
Yeah.
You know, they taste the same as it always tasted. They haven't changed the label. They haven't changed anything. They haven't changed the recipe. It's always the same thing, and it's not that great. It just hits the spot, but it's not great. You know, for me, that's what this was.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, for me, it's like I said, if you like Fast and Furious 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it's good. It's exactly the same. He gives you the same formula, the same intro, the gospel, the interludes with the crackhead rapping. You got the same stories about Sly Green all the time.
I think those are very interesting, by the way.
Crackhead rapping, I love it.
Yeah, there's always a crackhead rapping somewhere.
It's the same crackhead rapping.
There's always the prison phone interlude, the collect calls interlude. There's always something. Yes, so it's. I mean,
but we love it.
Nothing to change.
We're still gonna buy it. He's gonna put out 600 hoodies with the same thing on it. We're still gonna buy it. That's what we like. We like that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I think for me mainly is like, I don't think Westside Gunn is ever gonna crack a top 10 again for me on the year.
I get that though.
I don't think he's gonna crack ever. Usually from 2016, 17 to 2021, he was always there. Maybe he had 2 on the top 10, but I think that's pretty much done for me. I listen to this. But when I'm in the mood, like, I can go back to this. It's better than Still Praying for me. I prefer, like, Vert really brought me back to Hitler 3. Really.
They all like it. This album really brings me back there. I was happy that we got that older Westside Gunn type of eerie, dark. I don't know. There's something to those beats, man, that fucking pull me in. There's something to it. There's really something to it. Look,
I think the last time he cracked something that was different, it was on 10. It was 10 when he had like Fly God Jr. I love that Fly God Jr., So
the Run the Jewel song he did on 10.
Yeah, he
the
did
Most
like
Def Talib Kweli.
I think his last great album that was different was 10. I think so.
Yeah. And look, I'll be honest, and I know they don't do as many songs as they used to together, but if I could get Westside Gunn, Conway, and Benny more often together on songs, I would be the happiest ever, and I think it would kind of rejuvenate the sound a bit more, and maybe it would get into my top 10. Those three together, or just even Conway on fucking beats like this, man.
Yeah. What's your note on this?
I'm gonna give it a 7 on 10.
Yeah, same for me, 7 out of 10.
Derek?
Um,
You-
4.
How dare you?
I dare, I guess.
4 out of
It's
10.
okay.
It's
So-
it's just not. Yeah, it's just not my. It's just not my hip hop cup of tea. That's all it is. I've also been really spoiled to a certain extent. I didn't grow up with that Westside Gunn Griselda sound. I didn't know about it. And I've been diving into hip hop a lot more doing this podcast, and it's been a lot more of the lyrical type of stuff, like heavy bars, very talented rappers in terms of their flow and their charisma and all that kind of jazz. So I sadly have not grown accustomed or have listened to a lot of M-tier raps, if that makes sense. Like we're just talking shit for talking shit. We're not really saying anything that's too like profound and too deep and stuff. And my first foray into hip hop was, as much as a lot of people my age, it was Eminem, 50 Cent, Logic. It was that kind of stuff. And yeah, I just haven't grown accustomed yet to this type of sound. So it's tough for me.
On that note, do you guys want to just go back to talking about Jure for 45 minutes?
Well, I think we're gonna do an full episode.
We might have to.
on that song. Yeah.
Anything coming out in the next couple of weeks? Anything on anybody's radar? I can't think that far ahead, to be honest with you.
Me neither. Me neither.
I have the Sky Zoo show on Sunday.
Kaizu. For me, it's the clips, the clips reunion. The thing you sent me, I was so pissed at you. Fuck.
Well,
You
fuck
should.
it.
I was so fucking mad. You
I
sent
don't
me
think
that
it's-
sent-
I don't think it's a clip song. I think it's a Pusha T and Pharrell. I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know. I just listened, and as soon as I got what it was, no, I think it was Malice opening.
Fuck, I don't know.
Yeah. So as soon as I understood what it was, I cut it right away. Fucking pissed me off sending me teasers like that, you fucker. So mad.
Derek, anything on your radar?
There's a few metal album drops coming up. Kaleo, just one of my favorite bands, Kaleo, just announced that they're dropping an album mid part of the year. Looking forward to that. Waiting on the FEC lineup, waiting on the Festival de Quebec's lineup, see what that looks like. I was just talking with my wife not long ago that we're probably going to be looking at Osheaga the second day. It's this Saturday.
TV on the radio is there.
Tyler, the Creator's there.
Oof, I do not want to go see a Tyler the Creator show with all those kids jumping around like clowns.
But Tyler, the Creator's going to be
Oof.
there. Kaleo is going to be there.
I would go see the Killers on night 1, the Friday. I would really invest $150 and go watch the Killers night 1. Why are you laughing?
Malenko disagrees, but it's okay.
Killers.
Fuck, they have 2 amazing first albums. Like, come on, it's the Killers.
Two amazing first album.
I will put my hand in fire that as at a killer show, it's only going to be white people.
Oh my god, it's gonna be like
Mr. Brightside comes along. I'm going to open my window and I'm going to hear it from my house.
yeah,
When
for
Mr.
sure.
Brightside comes on, I'm going to hear however many 100,000 white people. They're just gonna sing Mr. Brightside.
All 30 years old and plus.
They're
all 30-year-old plus.
They're literally gonna play the first two notes, and then he's not even gonna play the rest. He's not even gonna sing it. The crowd's gonna be too loud anyway.
Phenomenal show. I've seen them live at the Bell Center, by the way. On that note, boys, I appreciate you both. We'll get back together in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
To review more. We have the Elimination Chamber.
More and more.
More and more and more for us to do and for us to listen to.
It's a new year. It's an already strong. I have pretty much two albums that are probably on my top 5 for the rest of the year. I think so. So, and Obia Le Chef is releasing an EP. You see, Histoire Vraie.
Primo Jab, February 25th.
Can't wait for that one too.
What do sounds smell like?
Yeah,
I'm excited for that one. Yeah, Derek.
Nothing else for me.
There you go.
Please, if you haven't done it already, we're almost at 100. Please like and
let's go. Let's hit 100,
subscribe.
guys. God
Press
damn.
the button. We want to
And
be at
press
100.
Press like. How hard is it, dog?
It
Come
takes
on,
2
dog.
seconds. It just takes 2
It's
seconds.
right there.
I'm gonna go.
Right
You know
there.
what? I'm gonna go to the Sky Zoo show, and I'm gonna fucking go up to everybody, hand everybody a sticker, and say, "Listen, you're all from Montreal. Listen to a Montreal podcast. I will show you the way. I will give you the Wizard of Oz, the fucking what's the thing? The green, the yellow road,
The yellow brick road.
the yellow brick road to what you should be listening to."
And send us albums. Send us what you want to write in the comments. If you want us to review an album, we'll do it. We did it in the past. So
Yeah,
go ahead,
absolutely.
baby.
If you want us to review Drake sucking Party Next Door's,
Oh, yeah, that's
Ball
true. That
sack.
released. Yeah.
we will review Drake sucking Party Next Door's ball sack. It is what it is.
Did you guys listen to that that
Absolute-
Spanish song?
No,
You guys haven't heard some
no,
snippets of that?
no, thanks. I'm
Oh
fine.
my god!
I'm gonna go
You-
listen to it now. I'm gonna go listen.
Everybody
To
share. Go on it. The memes and shit are really funny, but they get destroyed. I saw critics destroy that album, but fuck, we should have reviewed that, man. I'm so mad.
it. Sorry, I'm gonna go listen to The Happening for the 40th time in a span of 7 days. If you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you.
Like and subscribe.
See you soon. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.